You ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
Swag is turned on. Quick little check.
Hmm.
All right, relax.
Okay. I don't know why I'm off today.
You ain't off. We just getting started.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You sure?
All right, come on.
Let me see that dog in you, son.
Shut up. Come on.
All right, let's do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Family Business. It's your host, Rome the Ruler, here with my beautiful wife.
Cassandra.
And today we, got some fun for y'all. And um, topic that I think a lot of people want to hear, want to see, what
Uh-huh.
we think about parenting. So we'll get into, our parenting style and, kind of how we grew up and how our parents were and different things, have some fun with it and
Hmm.
even get a little deep.
Right, we're gonna keep this real lighthearted because we know parenting ain't doesn't come with a manual and it's no perfect picture of parenting, but just kind of identifying some of the things that help contribute into parenting.
Hmm. Yeah. So let's start off with this though. Um, how was your weekend?
I had a good weekend.
Good weekend.
I think it's important to kind of like relax and reset sometimes, not always have something planned.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. We got to go out, hang out, took our daughter out and
Mhm.
funny story talking about kids, right?
Mhm.
We went to Buffalo Wild Wings
Mhm.
and our daughter Crush works at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
So she lost her mind. Like
Yeah.
she was hiding herself. He came out and said hi to her. She
Yeah.
wanted to put my glasses on. She just steady. She's losing her mind over this boy, and
Yeah. Couldn't even eat.
yeah, it was crazy. But I guess she 15-year-old, little girl, man. So, but it's funny and it's also like you could tell I was still getting like, all right, nah, let's like calm down. Like
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
could not sit in her chair. Like she was losing
Yeah.
herself.
She was giggly, uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Like
She said he look every time he came out the
kept
back,
looking
she was
every
like,
time. Yeah. Like, and the boy couldn't even work.
couldn't even work. Well, he was a nice young man to come
Yeah.
out
He was
and was
very,
nice to
very
her, said
pleasant.
hi,
Yeah.
you know, um, shook his hand and everything. Nice young man.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Parenting. So, uh, of course, we became parents at a very young age.
Mhm. Mhm.
16. Yeah, I just turned 16, right?
Yeah.
And you were 16 or something like that.
Something. Yeah.
But we
We
were
was young.
16 when
Yeah.
then our daughter was born. And um I had no idea at first. I was like, yo, what in the world is this? It didn't make sense to me.
Uh huh.
I didn't know how it was going to work. I thought we was going to be done with school, like everything.
Mhm.
And um naturally we figured it out, and disclaimer, our situation again, we always want to lead with our situation is obviously different in a lot of aspects because our daughter has cerebral palsy.
Mhm.
She's in a wheelchair. There's a communication skills and stuff that you know we had to help develop, and uh we it's just a different situation than most people, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
um and it's hard. It was definitely tough,
Mhm.
to do that. So when it comes to parenting, uh, we had to start from like scratch
Mhm.
and figure it out.
So let me ask you this: when we both found out that we were gonna be teenage parents, what was your first thought? What was your first fear
My first
based
fear,
off of what you
I
had
couldn't,
already experienced?
I I couldn't feed myself. Like
Mhm.
you remember, like
Mhm.
literally,
Mhm.
you, and this is one of the things, like you used to bring me food to school,
Mhm.
pack me lunches that I had food to take home to eat later on.
Mhm.
That's how deep it was. So this same little boy
Mhm.
now talking about you got to feed a family or take care of a daughter. I was like, what?
Mhm.
Like, so yeah, I was scared. Like,
Mhm.
I had no idea what that even meant. So for me, what did you think though?
Well, to me, it was well. I was the oldest. I was basically second mom to five siblings. So it was to me basically like I was having a sixth child.
Mhm.
So the responsibilities that my mom already had bestowed on me and the accountability of my younger siblings, and then to go ahead and add another child, I kind of was more disappointed in myself because I felt like I was going to be better, I was going to do better, and I felt like that was the end of that. Like
Mhm.
the little girl who said she was going to make it out and be better can no longer do that because she failed herself. So that's kind of how I initially took it as being 16 and pregnant. Um, taking on what I felt was shame and disappointment from my mom to the shame and disappointment in myself,
Yeah,
you know.
because and and this is we just being transparent because
Mhm.
this is our life and we gonna tell
Mhm.
how it is. But your mom was also a teenage parent,
Yes. Yes.
and it seemed to be like, oh, we
Yeah, I
just
felt
gonna
like
do
I
the
was
same thing.
repeating that cycle. And a lot of my family members, a lot of the women in my family are teenage pregnant.
Mhm.
Had were, I don't want to say victims, but teenage pregnancy was a recurrent thing in that household.
Yeah,
And with that, I saw no family structure, no men in the household, multiple children, struggling single moms who had it hard. And because they had it hard, their eldest children also had it hard because they kind of had to carry the weight of their parents.
right. You
Yeah.
became like you said, you
Mhm.
became another parent. Like,
Mhm.
and for me, um, I've seen it all around me with family
Mhm.
members.
Mhm.
Everybody who became young
Mhm.
parents and stuff like that. But the difference is with a lot of people that really changed their life. Like,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
trajectory of life was like up, derailed. So I thought our whole, football track career, I thought it was gonna be over for a brief point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, we mustered up the strength to be like, nah,
Yeah.
it's not gonna define us. But, going on, uh, all right, so yeah, we had the kid early and
Mhm.
everything. Cool. Remember those early years of like figuring it out, like how to do this thing, like how to do the
Yeah.
parent, and
Yeah.
like when she was here, you know, it, it almost to me, honestly, it felt natural. Like it wasn't, we didn't skip a beat. Like we just was like we love this little girl. Like
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? It was just so natural, and everybody around us loved her too, and they gave
Mhm.
what they could for her. But um, yeah, we did what we had to do to make
Mhm.
sure she
Mhm.
was happy and well fed, whatever it is. But how was that those early, months and stuff like that for you?
So, I think the good thing or the saving grace of a newborn child, at least in the first 6 months, is that they don't know anything, right? Because when a child is first born, they don't really have a whole lot of intellect. It's those years when they are starting to walk, starting to crawl, starting to ask questions.
Yeah,
That's when it really is the scary part, right? So the initial thing was just me learning how to navigate with a a extra responsibility, and at the same time make sure that I was still focused in school, focused in myself. That way I can do well for her in the future.
yeah.
Um, but that was my take on it initially.
So for me, I feel like, well, we were so young.
Mhm.
We had to, while we was trying to raise a kid, we started raising ourselves. Like
Mm.
we became better people so we could be the best parents we could be.
Yeah.
And I remember just like kind of snapping into like, yo, it's go time,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I was, started working right after football practice. I would go push carts at Walmart.
Mhm.
Like I would, and then come go all the way to your house
Mhm.
and didn't have to go home because your mom
Mhm.
still wasn't letting me stay the night. That was crazy. I was like, "What, you gonna get pregnant?" Like,
Yeah, it
but
could.
but she wouldn't let me stay night. So I would stay. I would get off at like 10 o'clock at
Mhm.
Walmart, go to your house,
Mhm.
and then like have to run back home because I didn't
Mhm.
have a vehicle. So I would like literally run late
Mhm.
at night back to my um. I think at the time I was still at my mom's house
Yeah, that time,
at
yeah,
that
the
time,
first
and so
couple
I was
months, yeah.
literally running, which is crazy. But anyway,
Mhm.
but I say that to say like in order to be a a good parent, you have to be a better version of yourself. Like you have to be
Absolutely.
good as,
Mhm.
as a
Mhm.
person, and understand that what you're doing is for your kid,
Mhm.
but if you can't do for you, you can't do for them,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
Um and that take me to like to my childhood, right?
Mhm.
My mom was the most loving person in the world. Or is the most loving person in the world.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
literally anybody, she would do anything for anybody.
Yes.
Um, but my mom couldn't raise men,
Mhm.
so she struggled with that. Like
Mhm.
me and my brother are so uh we're so tough,
Mhm.
and uh her and my dad have opposite lifestyles,
Mhm.
and I'll explain. My mom is like super Christian, don't drink, won't do that. My dad is like this rough dude who I don't it's like it's like light and day. Like
Yeah.
it's literally like
Like
that.
like you said, he eat raw potatoes
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
bones
My
of the
dad will
chicken.
bite into a potato and just chew it, and
Yeah.
that's he good. Like
Very very savage
he
and
is.
like
Like his nickname is Mad Dog. Like,
mhm.
he's a beast. He'll do anything with his hand. Like, he
Mm.
and
Mm.
good guy, but they're
Mhm.
opposites, right?
Mhm.
And their parenting styles was, and coming up in like that poor environment, and having these two different um parenting styles, because my mom was a single mom, but I would see my dad on weekends and see stuff,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So she had a hard time trying to raise young boys, because
Mhm.
we imitate our parents.
Absolutely.
And as a young man, I wanted to be like my dad no matter what. Like, I
Mhm.
want to be like that dude that everybody respects and fears. So um I remember back to being like a young boy. My mom couldn't beat us when we was like 5, 6 years old. We
Mhm.
was like, no, run, get out of
Mhm.
here. That
Mhm.
don't hurt. We used to say that like, man, that don't even hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was it was difficult for her to try to manage us.
Mhm.
And we were smart, so we kind of understood the struggles that she
Mhm.
was having, with finances and everything like that. So me and my brother would kind of take on that burden
Mhm.
of ourselves and be like, "Mom, we're going to it's our job to be the man here." So
Mhm.
um it was scary,
Yeah.
to the point where I wasn't trying to have my kids in that situation, to have to be
Mhm.
like they're helping raise their parents or helping
Yeah.
with the finances. But
Yeah, and a similar story is the way and where we came from basically put us in a survival mode,
yeah,
right? And the detriment of that is that a lot of people don't know how to escape that mode once they, not everyone makes it out, but some people stay stuck in that cycle. But that's the thing I kind of want to highlight is that no matter our back, like me coming from a single mom and you basically having a single mom, knowing your father and that stuff, it was very hard because financially she carried a lot of that burden. So, and then raising two young men and having to be absolutely accountable for those two men, that sort of thing. Um, we had to do a lot of healing from that,
mhm,
right? Um, Even though our daughter had already was already here, there was a lot of things that we had to kind of figure out within ourselves, and it wasn't just staying motivated and making sure that we had a good job and were able to financially build for her. I think a lot of mental remodeling had to happen as we were growing. We had to elevate with time to make sure that our child will not experience a lot of the same maybe hurts or pains that we might have unconsciously bring upon her, right? So I think that this episode is more so identifying where you came from and what things you would not want to replicate in your child,
right.
if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. And like
Mhm.
when you said the healing part, and this episode is dedicated to our parents, right? Um, hey mom, hey dad, what up?
Yo,
Y'all made a beast. Y'all literally like y'all made a beast. So
uh-huh.
shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
same to her mom.
Barbara.
Yeah. So We love you, Barb. Thank you for everything, really. Um,
um,
but it was a point though that me and my brother talk about it. Like we
mhm.
had to forgive our parents though, mentally,
Yes, yes.
right? Like we never stopped loving them, but there was this little bit of resentment because
Mhm, mhm.
we the way we were brought up, they did what they could, but
And
we
all
had
they
a
knew
rough
too.
life.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? So at a little bit of you, you'd be like, dang, why I had to go through all that?
Mhm, mhm,
Like I
mhm,
was a child,
mhm,
so um it made us strong,
mhm.
right? But sometimes you still wonder like, dang, what could have been,
What could
or
have been
what
different,
could have
right?
been
Yeah.
different.
Mhm,
So I completely forgive them for that. Like,
mhm,
because I don't know, they was raised the same way, right? Like they
mhm.
they gave what they could for what they had,
Exactly.
right?
Mhm,
So it's no need to like ever be upset with them. Like, hey,
mhm,
look, I'm grown, I got my own mom. Whatever you need, I got you. You still my
mhm,
mom, you still my dad, right?
mhm.
I'm gonna do what I can for you. But going into like like you said, we wanted to make sure we didn't do some of the same things.
Yeah.
So we had to be like we had to overcorrect,
Yes.
you know? So even with you going to college, right, and you leaving, I remember thinking like you have to though,
Mhm,
because we have to have this education, like we have to be able to get out
mhm.
because there's no way we can do for our daughter if we don't even understand how to do it.
How to do it exactly.
So it doesn't make sense for you
Mhm.
to sit around New Jersey and be like,
Yeah.
all right, let me whatever, just so I can quote unquote say I'm doing the right thing, right?
Right.
And it's like, no, you gotta go and
Mhm,
figure this out because by that point we already figured out that the best thing was for us to be together, like as a family. Like
mhm.
it wasn't gonna work with you by yourself. It wasn't gonna work for me just by myself. Like
Exactly.
we needed this kind of unit,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And I concur. Like the first gap was knowing that there was an educational gap, like of life, just knowing that we had to get some sort of formal education past high school to make sure that our child um can learn from just kind of elevated mental state.
mhm. No,
So
absolutely.
mhm,
What else? So all right, now we can get into
mhm,
the different the different parenting styles that we see,
mhm,
right? And when you talk about like overcorrection, sometimes you get people who are like too tough on their
mhm,
kids
mhm,
because they're just, trying to hammer things into it. And then you get people that's too soft.
mhm, mhm,
And then they wonder why the kid always crying or whatever, you know what I'm saying? At a certain age, like, if you got a
mhm.
little 8-year-old boy, you want him to be the little tough 8-year-old boy, right? To
Mhm.
have understanding and doing things. But if you're too nice on him, you don't let him discover that the world is going to throw rocks at him sometimes,
Yeah.
then he's not going to be prepared. So, um,
Right, right. So the thing about kids too is that that's one of the most common things I see is that just kind of even what I experienced as a child was that whole concept of a child doesn't know better, right? So if you're struggling, whether it's financially or mentally, a child still sees that,
yeah,
right? So for you to pretend um that it's not happening and not being realistic about what you're going through mentally or financially um is very dangerous because they are absorbing things as you're speaking to them, as they see it and as they view it. So being realistic about um of course, like don't speak to them like an adult, but having a realistic conversation with that child and saying, "Hey, mommy can't buy that toy today because of X, Y, and Z," and letting them know it's not because mommy doesn't love you, but saying it's because I can't afford it right now.
we got
You
bills,
know,
goddamn.
so it's like trying to cover it doesn't make it any better for that child. Kids know more than
Yeah.
what you present,
No, that's
you
funny
know?
though. Like you said, because oftentimes, I mean, like I was aware of what was going on growing up.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like I
You
got it.
knew.
But like my
Uh-huh.
mom, she wanted to sugarcoat things or
Mhm.
kind of hide it, um and I get why, but I'm like, you can't, because
Mhm.
I'm not, just because I have a child's brain, don't think I'm not aware of these little things that go around.
Exactly.
Like you see these things,
Exactly.
and in her mind, she wanted to protect me.
Mhm.
You know, and again, I get it, but those
Mhm.
kids aren't as dumb as you think. They aren't as
Exactly.
unaware as you think.
Exactly. So if you want to convey something to a child, like absolutely bring it to a kid's conversational level, but
Mhm.
still communicate with your children, right? Don't and one of the things that you hear a lot in our community is that phrase stay in a child's place. Do you know what a child's place is
No, as a child, you
when you
don't get it.
saying that?
You don't get it.
Right, but kids are sponges. They're
Hmm.
absorbent. So it's like if a child asks you a question and you respond with stay in a child's place, understand what you are conveying with that response, right? If a child is inquisitive of something, that's what they're supposed to do,
Yeah, they're not
explain to
trying to be
them.
annoying.
Yes, they're
They
not trying
really
to
want
yes.
to know what they're genuinely
Exactly.
like. Mom, what's this? But
Yeah.
why? Why is
Or
it that color?
yeah, or why
What
can't
is
we have
this?
McDonald's
Yeah,
tonight?
they want to know.
Okay, explain. Say
Yeah,
McDonald's is like we can have it on Saturday, but today you need to eat more nutrients. Whatever
yeah.
your rationale is,
Because you know what,
explain it.
people always say I got an old soul. It's because like I
Mhm.
was around old heads that I would ask a million questions to,
Mhm.
and
And they
they
answer.
was answering the questions. They would, and
Exactly.
like my dad and my uncles, and it might
Mhm.
be unconventional to some people,
Mhm.
but they'll be sitting down right with you. I'm
Mhm.
5, 6 years old. They drinking a beer, talking. I just be sitting there kicking with 'em.
Mhm.
But what's this? Oh, that's Shaka Zulu. You tell me what about
Exactly.
Shaka Zulu? Shaka Zulu was a warrior. He was this
Mhm.
and that. And they would just talk to me like a little man. One
Mhm.
of the things my dad did growing up is he would never let nobody call us boys or kids. He
Mhm.
would be like, he would literally look at him and be like, no, no, that's a young man, and make
Mhm.
him say it over.
Mhm.
Like he'd be like, no, 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 tell him, call, he's a young man.
Mhm.
Let him know he's a young man. And people be like, "Oh, my bad. I ain't. Yeah, what's
Mhm.
up, young man?"
Mhm.
So look, I was like, "Yeah, young man." So I carried myself as such. Like,
Yeah.
I carried myself like a young man because the men around me were teaching me those things.
Yeah.
So, like you said, the kids are soaking it up and imitating the things they see around them. So,
Yes.
as a mom, you got to show them, the little girls, what a woman looks like, right?
Exactly.
And as a dad, you got to show these young boys what a young man looks like.
Exactly.
Communication.
Yes.
We talked about a little bit of communication,
Yeah,
how to,
communicate with your kids
you know,
and let them know what's what it is.
yeah.
Dumb it down a little bit for them, but
Of
still
course.
communicate with your kids.
Um, Now we got like putting your kids. A lot of people, you go into the thing like, you'll hear it, especially in our community. People say, "My kids come first,
Mhm.
right? They gonna have everything they want and all this stuff." And you're like, "All right,
Right.
that sounds like a flex, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's honestly not a flex."
Mhm.
You know,
Speak on it.
you and what I mean by this is that
Mhm.
you gotta make sure that the family is right, right? If you're a unit, especially like a husband and wife, you have to make sure that your husband and wife is taken care of. Like, this is
Mhm.
actually the first and foremost thing. That's how the kids are going to see love and be taken care of.
Mhm.
Just buying your kids, frivolous things, making sure they got all the Jordans and they got this and that and they can eat McDonald's, whatever. That's not going to make them happy or good kids.
Mhm.
You got to show them love. Like, you got to show them what
They gotta know what love lives looks
looks
like,
like.
right?
Absolutely.
And if it's a household where there's a mom and dad need to love each other, and they have to see that, like the words of affirmation, the acts of service, like that's where kids. That's your parents are what you look like, and me and you did not come like from a household where we had a mom and dad, right? So for my mom, I would say for her being a single woman, um words of affirmation and self-love. I like that's where I was looking for when I was looking for an example, that's what I was looking for in my mom, right? So that's why a lot of the bitterness that I experienced was that I felt like my mom didn't love herself. And because she didn't love herself, she allowed certain things to happen to her. And when those things happen to her, it trickled down to her
Mm.
children, right? So loving yourself and taking care of yourself, um, when you're a single mom is very, very important. And that means when you're dating too, right? Because like I said, not everybody has a household where there's a woman and a wife and a husband. But who you date, who you bring around your kids, and how you let those people treat you, your kids see that, right? So if you stressing over a dude, or you allowing a guy to play you or abuse you mentally or physically or whatever it may be, children pick up on that. Even if that abuse is not happening to that child, or
Mhm.
that, they still see mom is sad. Mom is not taking care of herself. She's not doing her hair. She's wearing old raggedy clothes. Like you said, yeah, like your kids got everything, but you walking around in pajama pants
Dusty, musty,
and
crusty.
and and a shirt that you had for 15 years. Like, your kids look at you and they imitate you, right? So it's not enough to say listen to me because I said so. You have to show that.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You be spitting.
I've been
Message.
trying.
Uh, but nah, man, that's very important, you know.
Mhm.
And it's stuff that you see often is
Mhm.
uh sometimes people throw away themselves
Mhm.
and just be like, I don't want the kid to have the life I had, so I'm gonna just completely give up on my life to
Mhm.
give them life. And they don't
Exactly.
realize that that's not detrimental to that kid, you know. And
That is or that's not.
I mean, that's not good for the kid.
Yes.
That's gonna
Okay.
that yeah, I'm sorry. I
Let's
was trying to
clarify
use a
that.
big word and I just didn't use it in the right spot. My bad. I mean, it's a new word for me. I'm learning stuff. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be it's not gonna be good because they like you said they need to see the parents happy too, right? Because
Yes.
they see their
Absolutely.
self in their parent. You
Uh-huh.
know, when I look in the mirror, I see a big Jerome. Like
Uh-huh.
I still see that. So it's important to see a good version of something. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
And with that being said too, I kind of want to touch on your kids don't owe you nothing, right?
Nah, facts.
So if you're still trying to figure it out, whatever it may be, dating, life, mental, whatever it may, career, if you're still trying to figure it out, don't drag them kids along.
Mm-mm.
Don't drag them kids along because they didn't ask to be here, right? And it's not their job for them to wait for you to figure it out, for them to eventually be able to be children, or like, so you got to figure out what you need to figure out, and you can't drag them kids along.
Yes.
You can't.
No, you can't.
You
You
agree?
I 100% agree. You know, it's up to you to make sure that your household is in order.
Mhm.
You know, and when we say that when people do the thing where they say, um, you know, my kids is everything. They come first. What they're lacking is the ability to understand again that your kids won't have nothing if you don't take care of yourself, right?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
if you decide to drop it all and not work, not take care of yourself, the kids ain't gonna eat anyway.
Mhm.
So you got to make sure your things are in order for your kids to be in order, right? In the long run, right? The if as a man you have a doctorate degree,
Mhm.
your kids are more likely to go and pursue a doctorate degree, right?
Mhm.
And to have those things. So yeah, you have to take care of yourself first, and then in return, the kids will follow. You know,
Exactly.
and that's what we mean by that. And oftentimes, again, we see that people go and they say they think that material things for a like somebody 1 year old, and you throw them a $10,000 party for their first birthday, and you only make $30,000 a year.
Mhm.
That is stupid. That's
Mhm.
not showing him the world. That is doing too much. So
That's showing him debt.
yes. So I rather you take that money and say, let's make sure that the house is in order. Let's make sure the house stay clean.
Mhm.
Let's make sure he has good clothes and the things he needs, but we're not going to overdo it, right? You're not just going to do things just because you think that materialism
Mhm.
shows them, shows them a good life.
And if
And
you can afford it, you can
oh,
afford
if
it,
you if
right?
you balling,
But
we
if
ain't
you
talking.
can't
Yeah.
afford it, that $10,000 right? Because once your kids are 18, the expectation a lot of
Mhm.
our community is that they're out the house, they grown, they got it, they figured out now on their own, right? So that $10,000 you could have saved, and that could have been a graduation gift. That could have been this is towards your college education. This is towards your trade. This is towards your first house, your first car, that sort of thing. Like that is truly where your kids are going to be
Mhm.
able to appreciate and really find use in a financial contribution of something like that.
No, absolutely. And even going into like the party thing, I'm saying
Mhm.
sometimes again people get caught up in thinking that that's what love is,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And I say that it should
Wh-
be reserved for when first of all they understand, right?
Mhm.
So you
Mhm.
older. That's why in certain cultures like you have the quinceañeras and stuff. It's like
Mhm.
now they understand what this
Mhm.
is. Like the people they're being celebrated, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And um sometimes people think that just having certain things is going to make that kid happy. Like if I'm living in the projects, but I got all the Jordans,
Mhm.
I'm still in the projects.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So,
Right.
um, taking care of everything outside of that. Get me out of projects first.
Right. So how would you say as a parent you show our daughter that you love her?
Oh,
Like,
so
what are something somebody can say that if they was to, their kids get older, they can say, "Well, I knew my parent loved me because they did this."
yeah,
What would be some examples?
I say because she knows I'm there for her, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, you see, all she do, she can say, "Daddy," I could be dead sleep, and like I rise and I'm in there, like,
Mm.
boom, um,
Who's safety?
just the
So she
safety,
feels
and
safe.
she feels safe,
She can call you and you're gonna be
and
there.
she knows
Okay.
like I keep her
Be like, oh
laughing, I
Mhm.
yeah,
keep
there we
her,
go.
you know,
Nah,
um,
you got
she
talent.
feels like when I'm around, nothing can stop her,
Mhm.
right? And that's what I provide for her, like that nuance of like I always say, right? Our daughter can't walk.
Mhm.
And I always tell people, I'm like, she is spoiled because she doesn't have to. Like the way she looks at life
Mhm.
is like she like, oh, y'all be gotta walk to places.
Mhm.
Like my
Mhm.
dad carries me upstairs every day,
Mhm.
right? She like they're gonna come and bring my food to me,
Mhm.
and like all she gotta do is pull up. Like all she gotta do is say what she want.
Yeah,
We got it
exactly.
hard. We gotta
Yeah.
actually go do stuff.
Yeah.
Anaya is like
Mm.
she in her wheelchair power chair around that house just calling names whoever she want, call somebody on her iPad, tell them to
Mhm.
come here right now. I'm like so that life is what we provide, or
Mhm.
so
So
that's what
safety
makes
and
her
security.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So she thrives in the fact that you as dad had provided safety and security for her.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Made her a princess, a real princess.
Hmm. And on top of that, being present parents,
Hmm.
right? So making sure that you are intently um, giving them a certain amount of time and not time where you're criticizing them or telling them what to do or questioning them, but like intently listening and saying, all right, like this is your time. How's your day going? Why do you feel a certain way? And allowing them to express themselves and being all ears
Yeah.
and letting them know that you're there to listen
Like what about
no
you?
matter what it
What's
is.
your best quality as a mom? What would you say?
Definitely I'm very nurturing.
Hmm.
So I cater more to her emotional needs, right? So she's very vocal about boys to both of us, but just like listening to how she feels and allowing her to express herself without shutting her down, right? Because most 15, 16 year olds don't feel comfortable speaking about um, a guy or anything like that, or even like their friends or anything like that. Um, to them, a lot of teenagers shut down because they don't feel like they're able to speak, but allowing her the emotional space to be able to speak on that and not feel like she's being judged.
Hmm.
Right.
But you're also, and this is the time to give you your flowers, right?
Mhm.
You're really good just overall as a nurturer, as a mother. Like
Mhm.
you make sure her meals are prepped. Like You know, she got when she come home from school, she has her routine, and you make sure it's all set up. She got this, you know, she gonna eat this right here. Then her snack comes afterwards. You
Mhm.
know, she's gonna want to move to the couch for a little bit, and
So
then
the
after the
structure.
couch, it's like she
Mhm.
wants to go here, and then she get her other meal, and then you make sure it's all there, it's all structured,
Mhm.
and you know, we put it all together where she's literally pampered, right?
Mhm.
But she's also like we also keep structure, right?
Yeah.
I would go as far as to say that you're tougher than me on
Mhm.
her
Mhm.
in certain ways, you know? Like for me, she know if she wants to stay up late, all she gotta do is be like, Dad.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah, you could go ahead. But
Yeah.
wait, just wait till you know, what mommy say. Mommy,
Yeah.
you know, and I'll be
Well,
like,
structure are important. Kids crave structure.
mm,
They need boundaries and they need structure because a lot of times they don't understand the aftermath. Like, right,
yeah,
if I stay up on my iPad or I stay up watching YouTube and you got to be up at a certain amount of time for school in the morning, you're going to be tired. And then your whole day is thrown off. You're tired. You can't function. You can't
yeah,
do the things that you're not the normal preppy self, that sort of thing. You're not going to want to do certain things. So it's like, um, kids need that
they
structure.
do. But it's just funny
Mhm.
because but it's like our daughter's funny because like she'll if you say no, we're not getting pizza, she'll like FaceTime me and be like, Dad, pizza? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. Like, cause
Yeah.
I don't know, like
She
she would
know,
play
yeah.
against us,
She plays
and
that,
I'll
yeah.
just order pizza, and you like, you really didn't send pizza to the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, she didn't tell me that,
Yeah.
like I didn't know, but she knows how to play the system, but
Yeah.
it's funny, and she's
Eh,
old. Um,
With that being said, kids know better.
Kids know a lot better. Um, but yeah, but it is fun to watch
Uh-huh.
how like I got like I'm still that like tough guy when it
Mhm.
comes to certain things. Like if you be like your dad about to come, she
Mhm.
like, oh snap, you know,
Mhm.
and call you dad, like she gonna stop.
Mhm.
But it's also the same effect with you. Like she
Mhm.
like if I tell her I'm like, mommy is almost home. It's getting late. You got to lay down now.
Mhm.
After I let her stay up, she like, all right, yeah, you right. Like,
Yeah.
it's time to lay
Exactly.
down. Like we
Mhm.
have that we have that balance, you know,
Mhm.
with her,
Right.
and we also, you know, even with her and her situation, we never treated her like she had special needs. Like we
No.
don't allow
Mm-mm.
her. We say nope, sound it out. Like you know,
Mhm.
use your words as best as you can, and it helped her develop that like that language that she has, the way she's
Yeah.
able to speak,
Mhm.
because we don't allow her to just to to feel bad for herself. Like we're like, no, baby, you can do
Mhm.
whatever you want. Like
Mhm.
so, let's do that. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
and you know,
Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta show kids that um if you can't do it one way, you can do it a different way, right? So even if your way of doing it doesn't look like everyone else's, learning or figuring out how does that look for you as a person? How do I do what I want to do, even though it might not be in the conventional way?
yeah,
Or how do I communicate how I need to communicate without it? Like me and you, it's easy. Like even normal people, like me and you speaking people, um, have difficulty communicating, right? And you know how to form a perfect sentence, right?
a little bit.
So
It's ebonics.
ebonics, right? But so you know how to, but still people struggle with that communication aspect. But is we taught in her like how to communicate in different ways, and people still when they meet Anaya know what she wants, even though she's not formulating correct
Yeah.
sentences.
Now she a beast.
It's
Her
because she
like she
knows.
got her own language really, and she
Yeah,
know
she
how to.
does.
She gonna tell you what she want, what she need,
Yeah,
and she
and
gonna
you
get it.
gonna know, and you gonna know what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's hilarious. Back after these sponsors. So now we got to talk about a little bit of the negative side of parenting, right? So some of the red flags of parenting.
Mhm.
Give me a red flag. One red flag of parenting.
Yelling at your kids and telling them because.
Just
Just
because.
because.
Yeah, that's
No
annoying.
explanation, no nothing. Just do what I said because.
Yeah,
That's a red flag.
yeah. You know, remember growing up, some of the stuff like I always make fun of how like my aunts and them used to say stuff. It'd be hilarious. They'd
Yeah.
be like, "Sit your little back ass down," and you
Mhm.
like, "Dang, chill out." I was like, you know, they used to be wild. You know, it's funny to look back on, but
So
that
be
is crazy.
so belittling your kids.
Hmm.
Red flag.
Yeah, so we got that. Um, what else we got? What's some of them things we done seen? Oh, you know what I hate seeing is the ratchetry. When you got the little girls doing like
That
dancing to
video I
the
sent
thing.
you.
Yeah,
I sent you
man.
that video.
When these little girls be literally like
When they
gyrating their bodies in, you know, in nasty ways, like in people we put on the internet and them doing that's crazy.
Yeah, your 3-year-old shouldn't look like a 45-year-old woman at the club.
No, no. And this
That's wrong.
what's the challenge? It was a Tupac challenge. And everybody was dancing with the kids. You remember that?
Oh
It was
yeah.
like, but the the
The song
the
was
lyrics in
crazy.
the
The
song, I was
lyrics
like,
was
"Are y'all
crazy.
listening to that?
Yeah.
You're dancing with your kid." He's saying, "I love the way you with your hips and with your ass out."
Yeah.
I want it so good. I'm about to pass out. Like they're
Yeah.
dancing with their kid. I'm like, "Yo, did y'all
Dancing.
listen to the lyrics?"
It was like a TikTok dance
Yeah,
or
it was a
something.
TikTok thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
People was doing that. I, some people might not have just realized that the lyrics were saying what it
Mm-mm.
was. But Tupac, "How Do You Want It" is a crazy
How
song to
you
be
want
dancing
it?
next to your kid with. Trust me. You do not want to do that. Don't let them hear that whole song. Um, what else we got? Um, dirty noses. Stop letting y'all kids have dirty noses in public. I'm sick of it. I don't like it personally. Clean a nose, yo. That's nasty. When you just got the little boy, he just sitting out there with the crust all over him. He act like he can't feel it. You acting like you don't see it. Clean your kid's nose.
You ain't right for that.
But that's a fact. You know we talking about little snotty nose kids where it did dry, it start drying up on their face, and you like, how long have you been in this state? You know what I'm saying? Like, who left you here like this?
Now you just
You need to clean that up, man.
now you picking at people.
Nah, some people need to you gotta understand that. What else? Some parenting tips. If y'all in public and your kid be, start crying at the movie theaters and all that, the babies, get up and walk out. I'm not trying to hear your little badass kid screaming in the theater while I'm trying to watch, Superman. Because I came here, I'm passionate about it. I want to see this, the Cape Crusader, and you got, you know what I mean? You got little Brittany or whatever just losing her mind because sh- she wanted more popcorn. So get them out the movie theater. That's disrespectful to us. That's disrespectful to little Brittany.
You funny.
What else? I'm gonna give y'all one more red flag for parenting. One things that do's and don'ts.
Chicken nuggets. That's a red flag. Chicken nuggets every day,
Oh
all
yeah.
day. Like you tell me, you're like that's all he eat. All right.
That's
No.
disrespectful to that man.
Make
To
that
that to that
make
little
that
that little
child a
one.
proper meal.
Yeah.
You got your protein, steak,
Hmm.
salmon, chicken,
Amen.
right? You got your little bit of veggie, right?
Hmm.
Cause I tell you one thing, now I eat all types of veggies, like all types.
Every day, you
And
make
it's
sure she got the
because
protein with the veggie with the nice little carbs.
I never, even though I might say I didn't like green beans, I never say, oh, I don't like green beans. I just put it on the plate. She gonna still eat it. Kids look at you, and if you say, I don't like broccoli, I ain't gonna eat spinach, they ain't gonna eat it because you say you ain't like it.
That's a
Nah,
fact.
they don't like it. They
That's a
don't even
fact.
know why they don't like it.
Yep.
And then put a little bit of carb up there.
Make sure they got
You
something
gotta
little
have a
carb to
little
fill
carb,
to fill their little bellies up and
well
get
balanced
them
meal.
going. You know what I'm saying? Give
Yeah,
them a little yogurt.
chicken nuggets ain't enough.
Yeah,
They
if
gonna
you
be constipated.
yeah, if your kids eat nothing but box lunches,
Them kids gonna have
the
hemorrhoids before they
microwavable
grown.
food, that's disrespectful. And you're gonna be mad, because I know you want him to go to the NFL, but his body ain't gonna run like that off of the, what I mean, off of just the Elio's pizza. It's
Off
gonna
those
start. Yeah,
antibiotics.
it's gonna start breaking down after you eat cardboard for so long. It's good every now and then get a little snack. I grew up off of oodles and noodles,
Exactly.
oodles of or noodles of oodles. I think it's really called.
Oh.
And I became a strapping young man, but um, it's probably not going to end well for all them oodles and noodles I ate over that time. So feed them kids a proper nutrition for sure. Now let's play a little game, young Sonny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right. So serious scenarios or fun scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um, and what would you do? Do you think it's good or bad?
What would I do?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
ask you. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
So telling your child to stop crying instead of asking um, why they're upset, good or bad?
That's bad.
Hmm.
I think we kind of touched on this already. Like communicating with your kids is very important, right? So if they're crying about something, you got to know what they're crying for. Like understand, like what's the reason you crying, right?
Yeah,
Like are you, and then letting them know, like are you hurt? Like what's going on? Communicate with your child and find out why is it that they feel that way.
but the way you go about it that matters though.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's okay to have emotions. That's
Yeah,
the thing about it. Like absolutely express your emotions, right? But have your child explain why they're crying and let them understand, is it something that's like,
is
okay,
it
like
serious or
is it
you out here
serious or is
being a
not
little?
serious,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never tell your child that it's not okay to feel. Like they had the right to feel a little bit.
Sometimes the little boys, yeah.
Nah.
Hey, cut that out. What's all that crying about? That's how you ask them how they crying. Yo, what you crying about?
But
Come
ask them
here, come here. What you crying about? Stop
exactly,
that.
but ask them
That's how
why
you
they're
do it.
crying
Yeah.
about, right?
But you ain't
Yeah.
gonna be out there like, what you do to
And the
me?
stop it is like so that it can communicate
Yeah,
why they crying, right?
yeah.
That's what it's this all
Cut all
right.
that. Hey,
Leave them kids alone.
all right. Apologizing to your kids.
Absolutely. Kids need apologies too. Cause we as parents, we're not perfect. So if we say I'm a little moody today, your kids don't deserve that because you the parent, they the kid. No.
Hmm.
Apologize to your kids when you're wrong. They need to know that mom was wrong, dad was wrong for X, Y, and Z. I shouldn't have yelled at you that way.
Okay, I see
You
where you're
know?
going there. Now, you look
I
just a
shouldn't
little
have,
bit of like,
yeah.
my bad. Y'all got me in the
Yeah.
middle. I was washing
Yeah.
dishes, and y'all kept asking me about whatever.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Your kids deserve, they're human beings. They
Sometimes
deserve to
I
be
guess it depends.
apologized to.
It
It
does
depends,
depend.
but the fact, but to say that your kids don't deserve to be apologized to, because you as an adult, you can say that I felt like my mom should did it, or I could say I felt like my mom made me feel a
All
certain
right, you
way,
won that one.
right?
That's right. You're right.
Right.
Sometimes you got to get out of that and be
Get
like,
out of
look,
that
man, my bad.
mentality that they're children and you're an
Yeah, my
adult and
bad,
what you
little wrong,
say
little whoopty whoop.
goes.
You know, I shouldn't have been yelling.
Exactly.
Daddy was just going through a lot today. But I love you.
Yeah.
Let's sit down and watch
Yeah.
a movie.
Yeah.
All right.
Let your kids know that you love them.
I like that. Um, bribing your kids. Hey, if y'all sit down, I'll go get pizza. You know, I go get the candy.
I mean, it depends what it is. I don't feel like, I think kids understand consequence. So if you say, if you do something bad, this is the consequence. If you do something good, this is the
Just
consequence.
the reward.
Yeah, so it's a consequence to every action. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad
I
thing.
don't either. I think it's good. I don't think you should use it
But
all the
but
time, but
reward for no reason, that's bad.
yeah, no, I don't think you should use it all the time. Like sometimes you just gotta be
Hmm.
like, no, go to sleep because I said go to sleep. It's time to go to
Yeah,
sleep. But every now and then, you could be a fun parent
yeah,
and say, I'm gonna go get y'all, favorite Skittles or whatever.
yeah. Pizza on Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So this one, telling your kids it's bedtime, then sneaking snacks and Netflix in your room while they think you sleep too.
That's funny. But look, parents need their sanity. So if
You
you
got to.
gotta be sleep by 8 so I can drink my little wine and
Yeah.
watch my show because you had the TV all day, that's okay.
It's been
That's
times.
okay with me.
It's been times that y'all at home and I'm out on my way home or something. I'll stop at goddamn Kentucky Fried, goddamn Wendy something. I'll sit in the parking lot and eat that mug
That's
because I ain't
ignorant.
bringing it home. I don't feel like it.
You don't feel like
I
sharing.
don't feel like it.
That's
So
rude.
I'm like, look, man, I'm about to eat this goddamn $5 biggie bag in peace. I'll sit right in the parking lot, get it right. Cause I
That's
know as soon as I come home and I got something, y'all gonna be hating. And like you said, you already cooked or there, y'all fed. So yeah, sometimes you gotta just Sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta do your own thing.
That's all right. I agree.
You probably do it
You
too.
gotta. I do. You gotta reward yourself.
Yeah. Cause I know if I walk in with anything, my daughter, Dad, me,
She think it's for her.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like, it ain't for
exactly.
you.
Even though she just ate.
Yeah, it ain't for you all the time, man. Yeah, sometimes you gotta do it. Um, ignoring the mom dad calls all day. Sometimes you just gotta be like, what?
Yeah. Sometimes you do gotta ignore it.
Sometimes you gotta be
Cause they
like,
don't be wanting nothing for real
mm,
sometimes. Like you like, Mom, look, and you know how kids be doing something
yeah,
like,
they just want to show you the
and you
song
just be
they
like,
just showed
you
you.
be looking like,
Remember?
okay.
Yeah, like I get it. I heard that song.
Yeah, you gotta ignore
Hmm.
sometimes.
Sometimes you gotta act like, oh, I'm asleep.
Yeah,
Nah, I definitely get that. Um, yeah, but overall, being a parent is fun.
it is.
It's
It's
rewarding.
hard, but it's rewarding. You know what I'm saying?
It is rewarding.
Hmm.
And to all the parents out there, just remember to make sure that you take care of yourself. Take care of your health. That's your wealth. Like you got to make sure you are taken care of as well as your child, or you're not going to be able to take care of your child. So get the house in order, get the things in order. Make sure that you're ready to bring a child into this earth.
Yeah. And with that being said, kids are great imitators.
Hmm.
So if you are disciplined, your kids gonna be disciplined. If you are goal driven, your kids are gonna be goal driven. If you out here bringing 2, 3 men in your house a year, then
Mm.
just know your girls is watching.
Corazón, yeah, you have
So if you don't want them to live like heartbreak shawty out here always got their heart broken and then running into another relationship, don't show them that.
yep, yep.
Do better.
Who you bring around your children matters. So
Hmm.
you know, even friends, everything. Protect. You gotta protect the kids' peace. So
Hmm.
um, who they're around and stuff matters. And
Hmm.
so overall, when it comes to parenting, you know, like we said, it's rewarding, but it's a responsibility that everybody ain't ready to take on.
Hmm.
So you know, we was out there, doing we was doing sex and we wasn't old enough to be doing
He
it.
said it bad.
We wasn't old enough to be doing that. And then we ended up having a kid. Good thing that when I was 16, I was actually like 31 mentally because I already done lived a life. Like I lived a whole life. I was around the old heads and stuff. So we was older. So that was good. But
Hmm.
when you got the kids that's around them ages, 15, 16 years old, watch them. Start having the conversations with them is that you can be a teenage parent. And it could be bad. It could
Because they're
put
not
you
all
down.
successful stories.
No. So, just want to make sure that's put out there, that
Hmm.
positivity. And you know, I want to take this time out again to say thank you for the woman in my life that's a parent because to my child because you do a beautiful job every day.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Definitely a team effort.
I was just waiting for you to give me my
Definitely a
flowers
team
back, to
effort.
be honest with you.
I was about to, but then you
Okay.
jumped too.
All right,
Okay,
my
okay.
bad. Legit.
Like I said, definitely a team effort,
Mm-hmm.
right? Roping it in, you know. Um, we feed off each other,
Mm-hmm.
so it's very important that we both were very strong individuals, and that way we can move forward and be
Mm-hmm.
like
So did I
this.
get like an individual one though?
You a good dad,
All right,
Jamal.
because I'm just saying, I was like, you was a good mom. Then you was like, we work together. I'm like, we. Let me get the Father Day flower
Okay,
real
how
quick.
you gonna give me my flowers and then want your
I
flowers
don't know. I just
back?
thought we was about to.
It's
You
like,
know what I'm
here you
saying?
go, but thank you.
I
Like,
just thought we was
you can't
flowing.
do that.
I thought this was the parenting, episode. I thought we both.
Yeah.
It ain't the Mother's Day episode.
And it ain't a Daddy's Day episode.
It's parenting. No, I'm just
Nah. Definitely dynamic duo right here.
definitely. Oh, I
Yeah.
definitely say so.
We are definitely we ping pong off each other. We a good
Yeah.
balance, right?
No facts.
So
Um.
now I got the best mom and dad.
Oh, that's a fact. Um. And if the rain stops and everything's dry, she would cry just so I could drink the tears from her eyes.
Mm.
She'd teach me how to fly, even cushion my fall if my engines ever stall and I plummet from the sky.
That's our boy Lupe Fiasco for you.
Come on now. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for the clips, the merch, everything. Uh, some interviews with other people and things coming out that we did, some content,
We just
and
having fun.
having fun, loving it. And we out.